Hey everyone, it's Tracy Martirana here from Holistic Wellness with Tracy. Thanks for joining me. You may wonder what I'm doing today. Right now, I'm just hanging out here in my bedroom. It is springtime and I'm starting to think about spring cleaning. If you know me or have been around me for a while, you might know that I have an interest in minimalism. I'm inspired by minimalism. I'm not a minimalist. However, I do love my space to be clutter free. And over the last few years, I have been like getting rid of stuff and getting rid of stuff. And now it's to the point sometimes where I get something, it might be gifted to me or like one of those freebies somewhere. And I just look at it thinking, now I have to declutter this. Like it's like giving me work. But one of the nice things about having your home clutter-free is it makes cleaning so much easier. So as I'm getting ready to spring clean, I thought before I pull out the cleaners or the mop or the vacuum, I'm just going to do a quick run through of a couple spaces in my house where I know things tend to accumulate, just to do a quick declutter. I encourage you, while you're watching this video, to maybe find an area to clean and declutter while you're watching, right? You might as well use this time wisely to get rid of some things in your home. When I say spring cleaning, what am I thinking of? Like, what goes on in my head? What is spring cleaning to me? And for me, there is just a few main places of my house that I feel really need a spruce up come springtime. The first one is my bedroom, just because, I don't know, I feel like the bedroom always gets neglected, right? Even if I try to keep it cleaned up, we sleep in here. We spend a lot of time in here, so it gets dusty. And, you know, yes, I clean under the bed maybe a couple times a year, but in spring, it feels really nice to be able to open up the windows, clean under the bed, maybe put on new sheets, wash the bedding, dust everything, make it feel nice and clean. And I just sleep so much better after that I almost can't wait to spring clean my bedroom. Secondly is the bathroom, because again, it's just a place where, I don't know, it just gets dirty fast. So even though I try to always keep up with my bathroom and keep it clean, something about being able to open up the window and really clean, maybe clean the light fixtures. And actually that brings me back to the bedroom of cleaning my ceiling fan. I never do that except for probably in the spring, so we'll do that too. I feel like the living spaces of my house, like the living room, the dining room, my library, because yes, I'm lucky enough to have a library, and even my office area, those places, if they're a little dusty and they don't get perfectly cleaned, I'm not as aware. I won't notice it as much. So at some point later this spring, I will do a nice deep dusting on my living room and my dining room. I will pick up my office. I will probably wash the windows in those rooms too. But I'm not in such a hurry. I might wait till a little bit later in the summer, maybe on a stormy day, to do the dusting, on just an overcast day to do the windows. I'm not in a hurry for those. But the kitchen is one room, again, where come spring, I want to open up the windows and I want to clean it out. But I'm going to try something a little radical in my kitchen this year, and I'm going to do that later on today. So be sure to stick around through this whole video, grab some stuff, clean some stuff, declutter some stuff, and then see what's going to happen in the kitchen. Now, because I've done a lot of decluttering in the past, I'm not expecting to find a bunch of stuff. I'm going to find stuff, which is why I'm doing it, but it won't be crazy. So I'm going to start with this, which is, it's a plastic bag. It's just all wrapped up in a little ball. So this is my garbage bag, because I don't expect that I'm going to find a lot of garbage. If you're doing an area that you know has a lot of garbage, get a big garbage bag. Make your life easy. I also have a little cardboard box that I'm just going to use in case I come across anything that can be donated. I do already have a box in my upstairs in my guest bedroom where I can throw clothes. So if I find clothes, I'll probably take those in there. But if I come across any other small items, I'll stick them in here. And then I also have a laundry basket because I know I'm going to find things that just have to go somewhere else. Like I know there's things in my bedroom that belong in other rooms. So I will just fill this up with those items. And then after I get the room pretty much like picked up and decluttered, just picked up and decluttered, I'm not cleaning, I'll go put those away. So I'm going to start in the bedroom, I'm going to move to the bathroom, and then we're going to go to the kitchen and get wild and crazy. So this is my bedroom. I'm going to show you. You probably think, oh, it looks fine. I have like a little meditation nook there, my closet, bedstand. There's quite a bit of stuff on that one. I know that needs to be cleaned out. Looking around. That's another place that I need to look through. And then over here, I was just noticing this earlier, thinking, I don't even know. I used to have my yoga mat in this basket, but I don't ever do yoga now in my bedroom, so my yoga mat is elsewhere. So there it is. That was a big scan of the room, right? I know you're going to say, Tracy, it doesn't look that bad. And it's not that bad, but that's the point. I've been decluttering, so I don't have a whole lot of stuff, but what I do have definitely does need to be looked at. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to start actually in my closet. I'm not doing my closet. I just know that when I open this door up, some of the first things I see, which you probably can't see, are a few things on the floor and the things that get piled up in here that I want to look at and get rid of. This stuff just sits on the floor, which means when I come in to spring clean and I want to just sweep out the floor of my closet, I won't be able to because there's too much stuff on it. Am I getting rid of all of the stuff that's in here? No, there's still a lot of stuff left in this closet, and that's okay. But I wanted to look at this stuff. This is just a pair of like really sort of funny looking slipper socks that I do occasionally wear, not in a while because it's spring, but those just belong somewhere else. These are some nice warm and toasty pajama pants that my daughter gave me that I really enjoyed, but they no longer fit me very well and they kind of drive me crazy. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to donate those. Slippers, I don't even remember if these are mine or my husband's. They're going to go. This basket, these are clothes. These are clothes that I wear when like I'm painting. I have like a pair of jeans, a sweater, and a t-shirt that if I'm painting or doing really gross chores. So those actually can stay. I'll put that back in. Oh, this is a really cute shirt that I bought at a secondhand store last year, and I really liked it. And it's really cute if you're just sitting. But what I found is if you're walking, it's sort of like off the shoulder, but the elastic around the shoulder is really loose. So as you're walking, it just sort of wants to fall off, which I found really annoying. So that's got to go. So these things can go. I'm actually going to go put them in my other box because they're going to fill this one right up. So I'm going to go put it in my clothes box. Which I also just noticed my clothes box is pretty full. So I'm thinking someone is going to have to go to the donation center soon. And then these, I have a drawer that has lots of stuff in it along with slipper socks. So it's some like sentimental stuff, like cards and stuff that are in here, and then slipper socks on top. So I might address that some other day, but not today. No, I don't use a bathrobe very often, but when I do, it's that one. This is just squeaky door. This is a sweater that I put on sometimes instead of a bathrobe. And this is a bathrobe that is, I can actually see through it. It's time for that one just to go in the trash. These I will just keep here. Could probably be washed, but I gotta iron or oil those hinges. So I'm gonna call that good enough. There are some shoes down here that they're sandals. So we're coming into summer. I can't remember if I wore any of these last year or not. So I will just leave them for now. If within a couple months of sandal season I haven't used them. All right, something's wrong. So if after a couple months there we go, of sandal season I haven't worn them, I'll get rid of them, but we shall see. Now here, my meditation table. Do I really ever meditate here? Really? No. But I did put this together. I used to meditate sitting here on the edge of my bed. And so sometimes I would come across some cute stuff. Like I have some cute candles. I have a little sugar skull that I actually bought. Ended up being, I was in New Orleans and it turned out it was also the anniversary of my dad's passing. So I had picked this up and then afterwards I realized what the date was and now it kind of reminds me of him. Fix that, sorry. As you might realize, this video is going to be a little cattywampus and that's okay. I also have some just cards, like, well, they're not angel cards. I don't know what you would call them. Goddess cards, whatnot, just at different things I've been to where you pull a card and I've kept them. And this is like a candle holder with a necklace that my daughter gave me, mostly because it's like this pretty lotus, not that you can see, but it's gold. And I don't really wear gold, but I did think it was pretty, so I've kept it here just as a decoration. I might keep it. I do have a candle down here I don't use, a very old vision board that I still like, though I still think it works. So I think what I'm going to do is just get rid of a couple things and then not worry about it. So it's dusty. Hence the reason I need to do some spring cleaning. This candle is old. I'm trying to think. This is ebony wood and patchouli, which I don't even know. It doesn't really have a smell anymore. It's probably 15 years old. I burnt like part of it and then it's been sitting down there, but you can't burn a candle on a shelf like this. So I don't burn it. It had this holder, which clearly at some point I burnt an incense cone in or on. You can see that. I'm going to donate these. I am going to keep this little necklace that I had wrapped around it. It's a little bear footprint. My daughter calls me Mama Bear. So I'm going to keep that. I think I'll add it right here to this little area, which is just some jewelry and random beads and stones in there. I think the cards, I don't know, I think it's time to let them go. I don't necessarily want to get rid of them. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is take these down to the, I was going to say take them down to the library to use them as bookmarks. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I have a little area right like on one of the library shelves where I store all my bookmarks. And we have a ton of more bookmarks than we'll ever need. But things like this make good bookmarks. So I'll put that in the basket to move somewhere else. I have this shell. I have no idea where it came from. So clearly it's not really all that sentimental. If I don't know why I have it, I'm going to let that go. And then what I might do is just move a couple of these crystals down. I have some rocks that I had painted. I don't really see any need to keep them. I did, one is like this little symbol that is an A and a T, which stands for Andrew and Tracy. So that's for me and my husband. And then this is a cute little daisy that I painted and I wrote Paige's name on it. But just because I painted their names on it, and I couldn't really tell you when or where I was when I made these. So I think these rocks are garbage. I would donate them, but I don't see why anybody would want a rock with these things painted on them. So those are going to go in the garbage. So there you go. I have, oh, maybe I can move this. So I have my salt lamp, but I'm thinking I could put this now down at the bottom. because I kind of like that. I like having the salt lamp as a like a night light, but when it's up here and I'm sleeping right here, sometimes I wake up and even though it's very dim, it can feel really bright in the middle of the night. So I'm thinking having it down at the bottom will be good. And then this just needs to be dusted off. This is just a candle that I do occasionally light in here if I'm reading in the evening or something because it smells nice. So a little less to dust around, a little simpler, nothing crazy. We're going to keep moving around. I'm beginning to think that maybe I should have brought up a bigger garbage bag. I haven't gotten far, and my garbage bag is almost full because I put in that very, very threadbare bathrobe. Very, very threadbare bathrobe. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So this is my husband's dresser. So I'm going to be very careful here of not getting rid of anything that I don't actually have permission to, and other things. If I'm not sure and I just don't want it here, I will put it in the basket so he can go through it. Maybe we can just find another home for it. I did talk to him about this. So this right here is just a strap. No idea what it belongs to. It's been sitting here for a couple months, so we're going to let that go. And then I asked him about what is this nice little case that has also been sitting on your dresser for a couple months. This apparently he wears hearing aids because he's a drummer. Always wear hearing protection. So this just has some random things in it that he doesn't use and didn't even know what it was. We kind of talked it through. The only thing that's in here is these are, I don't know, they're like little things to help clean them. So I will pull those out. And the rest of this is just garbage. I don't know why they put it in such a nice case. So they probably spent a lot of money on these cases, but you're never going to use them. So why? Why? Just something that we now have to get rid of. So that stuff is in the garbage bin. This is a sock. One sock. The other day he did go through and was sort of clearing out his sock drawer a little bit. And this one clearly did not have a match. So it's been sitting here for a couple weeks. No match has come. I'm tossing it. If the other sock shows up, we'll toss that one too. He's got plenty of socks. And then this shelf. Right away, I see more hearing aid things. They don't go here. Glass cleaner in case you want to clean your glasses. Ooh. Batteries. This is not where we keep batteries. We have a space for batteries in our junk drawer downstairs. More hearing aid things. And then this is actually a little cigar ashtray with guitar picks. He's not a guitar player, but you know, I guess you have to have some guitar picks. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guitar picks. I don't know why. An adapter for headphones. Who uses that? And some little keys that we have no idea what those are going to, but I'm just going to leave this stuff here and he can have his guitar picks. This is a nice little picture of us and some friends. Don't we all look cute? It's a nice picture. Well, part of it. The background isn't the best, but it's a cute picture of us and I want to keep it. But I think I'm going to leave it here, but search for a frame for it because I think it would look much nicer sitting here with a frame. This is a Christmas ornament. I don't know why it's there. A sticker from Sedona. And a picture of us. And this is the family picture. This is his grandfather's watch. So just maybe rearrange things a little bit. Put this stuff back where it belongs, wherever it belongs. So this belongs down with the Christmas decorations, the batteries. These all belong, or the batteries and the glass washer wipes belong down in the junk drawer. Hearing aid stuff belongs over in his bedside table. You might want this doctor business card. There might be a reason he's keeping it, so I'll stick that there. And then the little ashtray, I'm actually just going to move it and set it here for now. I don't know what else to do with it. He's never used it. I'm not really sure where it came from. The sticker, just in case he's feeling sentimental, I'll put that in his dresser. So because I had to bring his hearing aid stuff over, I sort of am switching. I was going to go all the way around the room neatly, but instead I'm coming over here. I'm not going to get into the disaster of this drawer. It's his bedside drawer, whatever's in here. I don't really care, but I will add that stuff in there. Oh, and this little handy dandy tool, I'll put that in there too. So the only thing you really need on your bedstand is a light. He's got his charger for his hearing aids, and we have chargers for our phones. That's it. But then there's a bunch of stuff down here. Now, I don't know if you saw mine, but let's review. I know it's dark and you probably can't see it, but mine has an empty journal that is just pretty, and I haven't decided if I'm going to write in it yet, and a box of Kleenex. Yep. So I'm going to take a look at his. Now, I don't want to come across as like I'm all neat and orderly and he's not. The reason that there tends to be more issues with his stuff is because I'm the one doing most of the decluttering. So I declutter my stuff very ruthlessly, but not his, because that's rude. If you're going to declutter someone else's stuff, you really have to have their permission. So I'm going to declutter this a little bit, but I'm either only going to move stuff to another space, like where I know it belongs. Like there's some books under here that will go into the library. There's some things that I know will probably just move up to this drawer. And there might be a couple things that I'm going to ask him about. I'll put them in the move them basket, and then I'll see what he wants to do with it. It might be garbage. It might just have to find a different place to live. Like these. These I'm going to leave here because these I know are sentimental to him. I bought these for him. It was one of our very first Valentine's Day. He was traveling for work, so I sent him flowers that came with these little bears. And so he's kept them ever since. So isn't that cute? He's the sentimental one, I must say. He's got some Kleenex. This is a phone charger battery. I don't really know why he keeps it here, but I don't really know where else it should be. So I'm going to put it up here in his drawer with all of the other junk. And then we have books that I know they're either books that he was reading and then stopped, or I don't even know what this one is. Interesting. I don't know. But these will move to the library. And some very dusty magazines from 2014. Yeah, I'm going to guess he's done reading them and is not planning on picking them up again. But, you know, I'm not sure. So I will let him look at them. Garbage. This is the receipt from getting a library book out. Braces for wrists. I don't recall the last time he's had an issue with his wrist, so I don't, it was years ago. So I'm not really sure why those are living here. I don't know. But they will fit in this drawer, so that's where they're going for now. This will be its own little project someday when, you know, actually, speaking of which, it is nice when I do something like this, I do kind of come up sometimes with a few little like, oh yeah, I really need to revisit that. So really probably both of our bedside tables need revisiting. His probably more because I probably have gone through mine. Another book. And then this stuff, this I know is old. This is stuff that was his parents, just in different sort of like sentimental type items. So I'm going to just leave them here. If you could see the dust. Stack the little bears on top. And this Kleenex there. So I got rid of quite a bit of stuff. It'll make, I mean, I still have to dust around the stuff when I come up to spring clean, but at least it's less of it and it looks better. So let's go back to that other side of the room and then we'll be done in here. So I'm just going to squat down here so that you can see what I'm talking about. This basket here is a basket I was telling you. I used to store my yoga mat in here when I would do yoga like in the mornings right here at the foot of the bed. Now that my daughter doesn't live here, I have her bedroom to do yoga in. So I have my own sort of yoga room, which is awesome. But that makes me wonder why this basket is still here, because she hasn't lived here in 2 years, which means I haven't had my yoga mat in there in 2 years. So it might be time to find something else to do with this, because what I do with it right now is I hang clothes on it. So this is a sweater that I think I put on. I may have worn it just briefly, but it's still clean enough to wear again. It doesn't need to be washed. I just hung it there thinking maybe I'll wear it in a couple days and it will be hanging right here. So I'm going to put it away. This is where I keep my bigger sweaters. And I do know, as I put this away, I knew before I even started this that there's at least 2 sweaters in here that I haven't worn this season, or if I did wear them, I wore them and thought I really need to donate this. So one is this sweater and this sweater. It's a white one that is no longer really white, and a pink one that I just don't really like the material that it's made out of. So I'm down 2 less sweaters, and that's okay. I'm going to put these in the donate bin. Now, while I'm here looking at my basket, you would think maybe just that sweater hanging on it is the only thing, but no, I have a hanger. I don't know why. I have a pair of socks. Pretty sure they're dirty, because otherwise I don't know why they would be in here. And then I have like this exercise towel, which I think has been in here since I did yoga in here, even though I don't think I ever really used it. And then other than that, it's empty, and it's a nice basket. So I'm going to leave it here for now because I feel like there's got to be something in my house that I can use this for. But at least for the moment, it's empty. I'll search for a spot. If you have a good idea on what I could do with it, let me know. In the meantime, these are going in the dirty clothes, and this is going into a closet. And then lastly, I'm just going to lift this up. So I do have a couple things up on top of this dresser. The light is just because when I open that door, there's just not a lot of good light, so it helps me see what's in there. And then the other stuff is just a few cute tchotchke things that I'm not getting rid of. But then this is like the last area. Sorry. So there's a cute little chair back here, a cute little basket. This is the basket. It's meant to be like my husband's place of sort of like my sweater over there. Like you take it off, but it's not really dirty enough to clean or to wash. But so you're going to probably wear it again. It's supposed to go in here. Also tends to be where like pajama-y kind of lounge clothes end up. And most of what's in here is going to stay in here. I'm just going to neaten it a little bit. I know he's got a ton of belts in here that have, like, so you probably don't care. But in the other bedroom, the extra bedroom, the guest bedroom, on the inside of the closet is this thing that hangs there with all these hooks for hanging belts. So when you have like a little belt buckle, you hang it up. But he's got a bunch that have like the plastic or the solid metal buckles that therefore don't have anything, there's no place to hang. So anything that can't hang ends up in here. And that's fine. I'm just gonna like neaten some of these clothes up. because I know in a couple days he'll have gone through all of these and they'll be in the wash. Shorts. We must have had a warm day the other day. We did. We had a few spring days. Then it snowed. Jeans. So not a big deal. I'm just stacking it, neatening it, putting it back on the chair. So I've been in here for about 25 minutes, but really probably 10 minutes of that was just moving the camera around or explaining things to you. So if I had just come in here all by myself to do this, I could have been done probably in 10-15 minutes. I have pretty much a full bag of garbage. My donate bin just has a couple little things in it. That's okay. And my basket of relocate is a decent handful. So that'll probably take me another 5 minutes to put this stuff all where it belongs. A little bit of time running around the house, but that's all right. It won't take me a few minutes. And the room is a little bit cleaner, a little bit neater. Yeah, not cleaner. It's just neater. And it also let me realize how dusty and gross it is in here. So I am really looking forward to spring cleaning it. So now let's move to my bathroom. Hopefully you're getting lots done around your house while I'm also doing some here. So now I'm in the bathroom, and our main bathroom is not overly messy or cluttered. If you look at my countertop, we have just a single sink. I have soap and I have a plant. The plant has seen better days, so I'm going to take that out, fix up the plant a little bit, do something different with it, and probably not bring it back in here. Because again, I like having clear counters. The more counter space that's just open, the easier it is to clean. So if I don't have soap, plant or makeup or anything else sitting here on the counter, lotions, combs, whatever, it makes cleaning up really easy. So I want to keep this as empty as possible. So just soap. And then as I'm looking around, I have things on this shelf, things in this shelf. Some of it I will keep, some of it I might declutter a little bit. And then I also have my closet, which is it's not a very good closet. It is deep and it's dark. I do want to get a few things out of the closet, but when I do spring cleaning, I will wipe down the shelves in there. So it is important and it will help my spring cleaning. But really, I'm just going to look for a few things, maybe even a couple of my drawers here, just a few things. Again, I feel like it's already pretty simplified, but it can always be better. So I did bring into the bathroom with me my take it to another space basket, my garbage bag, and my donation box. So if I find anything that needs to go into a different room, or it's garbage, or I want to donate it, I have a place to put it. Other things will probably be just moving them around in here. We shall see. So let's see what we have. I'm going to start with this. A lot of stuff tends to end up here. And originally, my idea was things that I use often would be in here because I liked the cabinet. I thought it was cute. I liked it on the wall. I like having things accessible, but not on my counter. But really, a lot of these things turn out to not be things I use very often. Some of them, things that I'm not using at all. So let's see what I can get rid of. I'm not going to go crazy because at least if it's here, it's out of my way. So I might leave some things here even if I'm not using them, but let's see what's even here. Start with the top. Now, this is like a nice body brush, which is great, but I can tell you it's been sitting up there for years. It used to actually sit on a ceramic thing, like, I don't know, they came together. It was a ceramic brush holder and the brush. I did eventually, years ago, get rid of the brush holder because that seemed silly, but I have never since used the brush, so I think I'm going to let that go. This is just some soap. I have a thing with soap. I love to buy soap. People like to gift me soap. I sometimes make soap, so I end up with a lot of soap. Last year, I sort of made a pact with myself that I would not buy any more soap for the whole entire year. I have not bought any soap for a year, but I can tell you I do have plenty of soap because I did go to a soap making party with some of my friends, which might sound weird, but it was fun. I'm still using some of that soap. I have this soap. I know I have a few more bars of soap in my closet, so this could probably go in with the rest of the soap. It doesn't really need to be on display. Now, I have vitamin E oil, which I use sometimes in like herbal remedies if I'm making lotion or salves or something. So I don't know why it's actually up here in the bathroom, because I don't think I ever just use it on its own in the bathroom. So I think this could go down to my office in with my herbal supplies. This is an oil for lubricating your nose. I'm not even sure if I did use it this year. It's great in the winter when things are so dry, so I'll hold on to it. We'll see. Let's see. That goes here. I'm just rearranging my stuff. A cute little glass jar. I probably at some point made like some scented like Epsom salt for my bath. I may have actually been gifted some in here and thought I'll make more. I don't really know. I think I have more of these somewhere. I'm undecided. I might just for now move this down to my herbal supplies. If I don't use it soon, it might end up being donated, but at least that's a start. And I find I'm stacking everything here on the sink instead of just putting it in where it goes. So this goes in the donate bin. This goes into the find another home laundry basket. Okay. So it's the same thing again. Jojoba oil. There's not much in here, but what is in here, I use in herbal type stuff. I don't just use it on its own here in the bathroom. So again, this needs to go down to my herbal remedies supplies. This is like an oil pulling oil, cinnamon flavored. It's good. I don't use it very often. I want to do it more, but I forget about it. So I am going to keep that here. A candle, because you always need a candle. These are just a couple little wooden scoops, which are great for like if I make up a body scrub, a sugar scrub, or even my homemade deodorant. Sometimes it's nice to have something that you can reach down and scoop. So I will leave those here. This is an almost empty thing of, makes me sound old, relaxing leg cream. But if you ever get restless leg syndrome, this stuff is amazing and it works really well. So I need to get more of this. Maybe what I'll do is I will take a picture of it so I can order more, but then I think this really belongs more in my first aid kit than up here on my pretty display shelf. So that will just get moved in there. This is a lotion. I think it was gifted to me as part of like a gift basket several years ago, 2-3 years ago. It does smell really good, but I like it, like the smell of it in the bottle. When I use it, not so much. It came with a soap and some other stuff that I really liked and used up pretty quick. But the lotion, I don't know, but it was about it, but it wasn't my favorite. So I've used like that much. So I'm going to just toss this, let it go. Another candle, because you need candles. I have a lighter for my candles. I have a remote for my electric candles. Now these are great. I actually use these. They're on every night as a night light. So when I come in, if I come into the bathroom in the night, do have a night light, but we also have the candles, which makes it very nice. So this stays. And then way too many essential oils for the bathroom. I have lavender, which I use a lot when I take a bath, so that has to stay. Grapefruit, sometimes I do add that to, if I'm putting like body lotion on, sometimes I'll add a little grapefruit because I like that smell. Breathe is very nice when you're congested. I might move that to the first aid kit. More lavender because, you know, why not? Lemon. I don't know as if I've ever used lemon oil in the bathroom. Maybe if I was cleaning, I guess. I don't know. I will just put that down with my other oils. And then rollerball oils. This one is one for like achy muscles, so I do use that on my back quite often. This one is a focus blend. I've used it before, like before I do yoga or meditate. Oh, I do like the smell of it, but it's not anything like I would want to wear out and about. So maybe I'll move that into my daughter's old room where I now do yoga. Lavender. So that's 3 different lavenders. And this clary sage one that I love. Sometimes I actually do almost wear this as perfume. It's actually meant for like women's health, like monthly blend to help with the cycle of hormones. So I do use this one a lot, and I do use it in the morning when I'm getting ready. So the one for the achy muscles and the one for the monthly calendar will stay here. The lavenders and the grapefruit, I will use them. I just have to remember not to bring any more lavender up because I have plenty here. My candles will go back in here. So I'll just sort of try to neatly put this stuff back in. And then these are just some more candles that, you know, they're just sort of cute or smelly, and they're nice sometimes when I'm taking a bath. So I'll leave those there as well. And then that's it. I'll put this stuff where it belongs and we will move on. Okay, I was just putting stuff in different places. Just quickly looking at this shelf, I noticed this. So this is, yes, a butter warmer. You might recognize it if you eat a lot of lobster or whatnot. I use this in the winter when I do abhyanga, which is an Ayurvedic practice of putting oil all over your body. And it is nice in the winter when the oil is warm. So I light a candle, I put some oil in here, and I let it just warm, being very careful not to boil it because I don't want to burn myself. I just want it warm. But it's spring now, and I know I'm not going to use this again probably until fall. So I will find a place for this in the cabinet. And I guess I'll just leave that sort of empty for now. These are 2 little candle holders that I don't use for candles. I use this one for holding my earrings. So at night when I'm washing my face, I will take out my earrings and usually put them in here. If they're the earrings I wear most days, I'll put them on the next day. Sometimes they're other earrings that will end up living here for a while until I realize it, but that's okay. And this one is usually empty, but right now it's holding 2 little herb pills. This is valerian that we went through a spell recently where we were both having trouble sleeping. So I brought these up and put them here so that if we woke up and couldn't get back to sleep, we could take them. Why not? Where else would you keep your herbal pills other than in a candle holder? I have my oil warmer. I'll put that up there in a minute. But as I'm moving in this direction, I just want to hit a couple, like the drawers in the vanity, just real quick, just to show you something, nothing crazy. Hi up there. So in this drawer, behind the door, I have a couple baskets in here, which you don't really need to see, but this is where I keep my blow dryer and like combs and brushes and hair clips and some female products and stuff. But this morning I had glanced in here and I did see that in one of the baskets I had this, it's like, I don't know what they call it. It's the headband thing. Remember the show Survivor? They used to wear these things all the time. So this is brand new. It was gifted to me by someone who bought it, didn't like it, thought, oh, maybe you'll wear it. I'm never going to wear it. So I'm putting it in the donate bin. And then in these drawers, there's 2 drawers here. This one is my husband's. This one is mine. His is full of lots of stuff. I'm not going to go through it. It's a project for another day. Mine is pretty simple. It is a bin of my makeup, empty makeup bags, so that when I travel, I can put stuff in here. Like a little blender that, I don't know. I have one I'm currently using. This is a backup one, I guess. I don't know why I have 2. And a little container with some extra lipsticks in it. So I had just noticed in my makeup bin, I put all my makeup in here, so I just pull it out in the morning, put my makeup on. When I'm done, I put it back in. But I wanted to do a quick go through because I know there's stuff in here that I don't use anymore. So I figured I would just do it really quick. You can either join me or you can forward through it. It doesn't matter. But I would encourage you, maybe while I'm doing this, you grab your makeup and do something very similar. Now, I was getting low on foundation, and I ended up picking up 2 different foundations. So this one I think is now pretty much empty and can go in the garbage. These 2, I don't know which one I like better. I'll just have to play with those. So this is garbage. I have a couple different blushes. I tend to very rarely wear blush, but if I do, I use this color, not this color. So I'm tossing that one. This was some Sheer Minerals powder that I used quite a bit of, but there's still a little bit left, but I don't remember the last time I used it, so I'm tossing that. Brushes. This one, if I'm going to use blush, this is one I use. This one I used to use for powder, but it is absolutely disgusting, and I could probably wash it, but I don't remember the last time I used it, so I'm tossing it. Some mascara. I have a couple different kinds of mascara. I don't know which is good. I'll just keep them both. Some primer. This is actually the blender that I do occasionally use. It's gross. I think I'll throw this away and use the new one. Handful of brushes that I use, a couple eyeliners that I occasionally use, some lipsticks that I use. This apparently was the nice paper towel that was in the bottom, keeping the bin nice and clean. How'd that work? And then I have a bunch of eyeshadows that I don't use. I guess occasionally I might want to use a couple of them, not blue, not purple. This was kind of a weird reddish color that I think I used to like, and then eventually I stopped liking. I don't even know how old these are. They're probably pretty old. And I don't remember the last time I used them, so I might let all of them go. And then I just have some old applicators in the bottom. I don't know why these are here. I'm tossing those. A broken plastic thing. Alright. Uh-oh. Alright, stuff is just falling all over the place. This stuff is stuff that I use. This is like a very shimmery eyeshadow that I'm not a shimmery person. So this is just dirty and gross. So I'm only going to dust it out for now. Oh, wait a minute. this is what I'm down to, which that took me all of what, 2 minutes to realize I had a bunch of garbage. So this is all garbage. This is what I'm keeping. So while that really did not help me from a spring cleaning standpoint, it did just make me feel better to get rid of all of this garbage. Stuff that I look at and work around every single day, and I just don't need it. So I've gotten rid of it, and that feels really good. And now I'm in the closet. And you probably can't see a lot of what is in here. I see behind me, there's some sunscreen. Now I know sunscreen goes bad, but I think that expiration date is good. That one is, this one is almost empty, so I'm tossing that. There's quite a bit in here. We are going to be going to Florida soon, so we will use this stuff soon. So I'm going to keep it. Where's the date? Oh, okay. So these are good. So we'll take those with us and use them up probably pretty soon. Other things that are here, a little powder pad. I'll save it. I'll use it. Some more candles, another candle holder. This is just a cute little jar that I will reuse for some scented Epsom salts, and I'll probably put that back up on the shelf once I refill that. A neti pot. A beer mug. I used to use this for rinsing out my bath, like after I'd clean it, or if I just had, wanted to rinse off some stuff off the side. But now I have a plastic pitcher down the bottom, so this can go in the donate bin. Cotton balls. Some personal wipes. Yeah, so that stuff's good. And then I'm going to do just really quick and dirty here. Nothing too crazy. I have some cleaning supplies. This is soap. A bunch of COVID tests, because, it's the world we live in. This is a toilet light that when you open your toilet, it shines out like multicolored lights. So you can have a red toilet or a blue toilet. So we got this, we used it until the batteries died, and then I put it in the closet because I hated it. Because for one, when you get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, it's way too bright. I think it's kind of gross, and sometimes it makes you think you're dying, but it's just the light shining on the water. So this is going in the garbage. This was that lotion that I want to order. This bin right here, this big bin, is my first aid bin. So I'm not organizing it. I'm just putting in that lotion in here that breathes oil. Putting that in there. This is just some face toner that I made. This box has hair clippers, so I do Andrew's hair for him. So that's that. Let's see what we have here. This is soap. I have soap. We want some soap. So these are the bars of soap I have here. This is the one I took off the shelf that I'm adding to it. This is a packet of some sort of bath salt. It doesn't look familiar to me, so I have no idea where it came from. It must have been like in like another gift basket or something. I'm going to put this over on that shelf on the wall, and then maybe when I take my next bath, I'll give it a try. A bin of toothbrushes. This is a whole bin of just nail stuff. Not the time to go through it. So this last shelf is one I actually was most interested in looking at because I know I have things here that probably don't need to be here. This is a partial thing of face primer that I was using. I switched to a different type, but I still really did like this. So this will be going down with me to our cabin. I like to, sort of how I do toiletries for the cabin, is I take things that are half used, take them down so that by the end of the season, you know, I get to use like my normal real stuff, but without having to stock it with full stuff. Right? So this will go down. We have a basement box, like a box in the basement that has all of the stuff that we'll be taking with us down to our cabin come spring. So I will take that down and add it to it. More soap. Put this up with that soap. Let's see here. This is just a bin of travel stuff. So it's, you know, toothbrush holders, little travel toothpaste. Just leave that as it is. Personal wipes, some deodorant. Oh, look, another eyeshadow that's never been opened. I'll put this one in my makeup bin because the other ones were pretty old. So if I'm going to use this, I would want to use the new one anyways. So I'll keep that in there. This is a container with like little pieces of, it's a bar conditioner, which I must have thought when it all broke apart that one of these days I would take it and melt it down and make it whole again. Clearly I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to just let that go and put that in the garbage. Some dry shampoo, toothpaste, and these are all more soap. But these are hand soaps that have probably been gifted to me because I don't think any of these are something I would have bought. We are going on vacation. We're renting a house, and I know we're going to need like soaps for the bathrooms and the kitchen. So I'll probably take one of these down there. Maybe the other one I will take down to the cabin. Because again, here at home, I tend to just reuse. I have like, you know, some soap dispensers that I reuse with just natural castile soap. So I don't tend to use a lot of these. But I hate to let them go to waste. So I will put 2 of them to good use and 1 in the donate bin and call it good. Then I'll feel good. So I'm using 2, donating 1. Move the Kleenex and the shout wipes down here. So there, a few extra toiletries just waiting to be used. Some garbage on the floor. But that's it. So this will be easy to wipe out when I'm ready to start my spring cleaning in here. So after, I think, 20 or so minutes in the bedroom, 15, 20 minutes here in the bathroom. Of course, it took me actually a little bit longer than that because I was recording, but really less than an hour. I would say probably only 40 minutes tops in the real world. I have this whole bin, which is stuff that I now have to go put away somewhere else. This bag, which is all just garbage, and that box, which is donation stuff, in addition to the donation stuff that I put in the clothes bin already. So not too bad for just 2 rooms that I have already decluttered a lot. So the fact that I can still find this much stuff this fast is just a testament how you think you're done decluttering and you're not. So next, meet me in the kitchen when we're going to do something a little bit crazy. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. I have been upstairs doing a little just decluttering. I did a quick 20-25 minutes in my bedroom, another 15-20 minutes in the bathroom, just getting rid of just odds and ends of stuff that build up in preparation for doing some spring cleaning, because it is so much easier to clean if your house isn't cluttered. But then I wanted to work on the kitchen, and I decided the kitchen is the perfect place to play around with something that Nyquilin, I believe that's her name, Nyquilin Smith. She is called the Nester. She actually, yes, it is McQuillan. She's a blogger, the author of this book, Cozy Minimalist Home. I really enjoy her. She does a lot of not just decluttering and minimalism, but also, you can tell by the name of that book, and I think she has another book either out or coming out soon, but she likes to make her home not just sparse, but cozy, right? You can be a minimalist, and again, I don't really consider myself a minimalist, but you can simplify your home and still have it cozy. She has a concept that also reminds me very much of something that was done by the Minimalists, if you're familiar with them. I will leave links to these guys, the Minimalist and McQuillan, in my description box below, just if you want to go check them out. But the Nester, I will call her, her idea, or her name for it, is called Hush Your Room. It mostly has to do with visual clutter. So she's not talking about cleaning out cupboards at this point. It's just trying to make a space feel peaceful and quiet and hushed by getting rid of a lot of the visual clutter. Now, the minimalist, one of them, Ryan, did something similar to this when he decided to become a minimalist. He did what he called a packing party. He packed up everything in his apartment as if he were moving, and then only unpacked things as he decided they were necessary and that he wanted them in his life. And then anything that didn't get unpacked got donated. Doing that to your whole, even a whole room, to pack things up like you're moving, is a bit extreme. So this is a little less extreme, so it's a little more doable. However, while it focuses on visual clutter, it will snowball. And I can already see, even as I'm thinking and looking around my kitchen of what I'm going to do, I can see how it's going to snowball, but I'm going to do it anyways. So the idea is you pick one room, I'm doing the kitchen, and you remove everything that you can easily remove to another room. So you get rid of visual clutter. So in my kitchen, for instance, well, I have these dishes that I should be taking care of while I'm talking to you so that they're out of the way when we go to do this. But we're going to get rid of the espresso machine. Not for long, just temporarily. We're going to get rid of the oil dispensers that are on my counter, the air fryer. I have a big crock with all my utensils in it. I have, I'm looking around, a diffuser. I have my stand mixer. That one I'm not really sure about. Up on top of my refrigerator, I have a tray that was meant to just hold Andrew's like daily stuff, but now it really becomes a catch-all for anything we don't know what to do with. And then I look over here and I have some decorative things. I have some flowers that are nearing the end of their life. It's time for them to go. I have like a cute little, I almost call it like a nature altar that, well, I really love the idea of it. It does take up space on my counter. I have a shelf with not a lot of crazy stuff. It's got my canisters and a serving tray. There's just random things when you look around. Look at my windowsill. I have plants and I have medicine and I have essential oils and just stuff, right? So the idea is you get rid of it all. You take it out, move it into another room. Use that time to deep clean a little bit if you want. I'm not going to go full on spring cleaning in here because really, for spring cleaning, or really any cleaning, you've noticed my cabinets are white, so they get wiped down all the time. I think I just wiped them down the other day, and it's not a big deal. I just do it, you know, I'm cleaning up after dinner, I put the dishes away, I grab a cleaning rag, and I just wipe them down. You don't have to make it a big deal, but so they get done often. I'm not really worried about that. For me, cleaning, spring cleaning in my kitchen is more about like cleaning out the light fixture, washing the windows, really making sure that the windowsills and the counters are wiped down, but nothing crazy. Cleaning the top of the refrigerator. So I will do some of that stuff today once I get everything out because, you know, once the refrigerator doesn't have anything on top of it and the counters are empty, it would be silly not to wipe them down. But I'm not going to do windows. I'm not going to do my light fixture because there's still time before spring is actually here as I'm filming this. I mean, as I'm filming this, technically it is already spring, but I know it's not really spring. And I want to do that on a day when, you know, when I open up the windows to clean them, that it's not 50 degrees out. I want it to be nice. So I will do a little bit of the cleaning, save some of the bigger spring cleaning for later. But having this done will make it easier. Why? Because I'm going to move everything out. I'm going to clean. Now, McQuillan suggests leaving it for at least 24 hours like that before you even think about moving anything back in. I'm not going to wait that long for certain things. I know the espresso machine is coming back in, and I know Andrew will be really annoyed if it's not back in by tomorrow morning when he wants an espresso. I know the air fryer is coming back in because it's not like the basket kind of air fryer. It's more like a toaster oven, and that's how we make toast. That's how we cook a lot of things rather than, using our big oven. We use the smaller oven because there's only 2 of us. So I know that's coming back in, but I know there's a lot of other things that don't have to come back in. So that's where I see that it's going to snowball. I'm going to move all this stuff to the dining room. So now my dining room is going to be a mess until I finish this project. So I don't want to leave it too long, but I'm going to have to find homes for all the other stuff that is currently here. So, like, for example, my stand mixer, still on the fence. Part of me is like, oh, for one, it's pretty and red, and I love having it in my kitchen. But at the same time, I don't use it often enough. I use it maybe a couple times a month, maybe. And it's probably some months I do, some months I don't. So should it be on my counter taking up valuable real estate? Probably not. But I don't have a cabinet that I can fit it in, which means I'll have to put it in the basement, which is okay. I'll try it for a while. I mean, not like it has to stay there forever. I'll put it in the basement. If I decide that bringing it up and down means I never use it, which that's sort of what I think will happen, I'll be like, I could use my stand mixer, or I could just do it by hand, and I'll just do it by hand. Or I'll find that bringing it up every now and then isn't a big deal. Or I'll be like, you know what? It's pretty. It can sit on the counter, and maybe I'll just move it to a different spot. Who knows? I don't know. But see, this is how it's going to snowball. But I'm going to try it. So my husband is out of the house for a little while. He had to go to an appointment. So I figured this was the perfect time to do this without interference. My dining room is clean, so like there's nothing on the table except for maybe a little bit of decorative stuff, but my dining room is usually clean, but it's clean now. So I'm planning on piling a lot of stuff on the table out there. I do have my laundry basket, which I used in my previous decluttering upstairs for anything that has to go into a different room. So things that I know aren't going to sit out there, I know like right where I really want them, like my diffuser. My diffuser is out here because occasionally if I cook fish afterwards, I'll diffuse lemon oil just to help get rid of the smell of fish. But I don't use it, only every once in a while. So it doesn't need to live in my kitchen. It can live out in my office where a lot of my other oily type stuff is. And I can bring it out whenever I want to use it and then take it back. So I already know where that's going to go. So that's what I'm going to use the basket for. Anything that I know right now is going to be rehomed. Anything else will go to the dining room, and that's what's going to happen. So I encourage you maybe to consider giving this a try. Think about what room you might want to do it in. But if you're not ready to jump in and do it right now, maybe just use this time to declutter a closet or wipe down your kitchen counters. Do something with the time while you hang out with me. Well, I do this crazy thing to my kitchen. All right, what do we have to lose? And some of this is going to be a little bit of cleaning and working at the same time, because I'm not going to move this into the dining room as is because it's pretty dirty and gross and needs to be cleaned. So I'm going to clean a little bit as I work. few days have passed and I have not added anything new in. Let me show you just a quick roundabout what I did bring back, and then we'll chat with just my final thoughts on this process. I brought in my flour and my canisters and the silver serving tray. I did bring back the tray on the top of the refrigerator after cleaning it out. The plants there in the corner are just temporary. I did bring back plants, that plant and another plant over for the other window, the air fryer, my utensils, the teapot, the oil, my cutting board, medicine and plants, dish soap, and the espresso machine. Overall, I didn't bring back that much. And there was a surprising amount of stuff left on the dining room table when I was done. And that is my biggest hang up with this process. Luckily, I was able to spend, it took me about an hour maybe, to find homes for all of the stuff that was left on my dining room table. But if I hadn't already done a whole bunch of decluttering to my house previous to that, I wouldn't have a place for any of that stuff to go. So while I loved the way that this instantly changed the feel of my kitchen, I mean, for a little while, it felt like we were moving in, right? It was empty. At least, what you could see was empty. The cabinets were all still full. But it felt really good. I'm able to control what comes in, but it leaves that big pile of stuff to deal with. So if you're new at decluttering, I probably wouldn't try this method to begin with, but if you've been at it for a while, give it a shot. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one. I hope you stuck through to the end. I hope you used the time to do something for yourself, whether it was cleaning and decluttering or a project, crafts, whatever. I hope you spent the time well. And again, thank you so much for joining me.